So, think about how we used to find things online. It was like a digital scavenger hunt, right? Typing keywords, scrolling through endless links.
Yeah, hoping for that gem.
Exactly. But now it feels like the internet is starting to answer before we even finish asking. Thanks to these AI-powered overviews,
Mm-hmm.
it really changes the fundamental act of discovery, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. We're witnessing a real transformation,
Yeah.
moving from users, actively navigating websites.
Right. Destination discovery, as the article calls it.
Exactly, to AI systems directly surfacing synthesized information. It's no longer just pointing you to a potential answer. The AI aims to be the answer in many cases.
And that's precisely what we're diving into today. We've got this fascinating article from Acadia, AI Overviews as the New Discovery Vector, which really unpacks this.
It's a great piece.
Yeah. And for you, our listener, if you want to get smart on this quickly without feeling, overwhelmed by jargon,
It's your shortcut.
consider this your express lane to understanding this huge shift.
So our mission in this deep dive is pretty straightforward. We want to get to grips with AI overviews. What are they? How are they fundamentally altering user behavior?
And crucially, what strategies are emerging? For anyone wanting their content to actually be found and valued in this new AI-first world.
Right. How do you adapt?
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of a discovery vector. The article highlights this core shift from destination discovery to content discovery. What's the real nuts and bolts difference there?
Well, in the traditional model, destination discovery, the main goal was getting that click, right? Driving traffic to your website.
Sure, optimize for rankings, write good snippets.
Precisely. To entice users to visit your domain. Now, with content discovery via AI overviews, the AI extracts and synthesizes the info directly.
Oh, okay.
So users get their answers served up right there within the search results, often bypassing the need to click through to any specific site.
So your content is discovered.
Yes, but the direct visit becomes less certain.
We could be creating really valuable stuff, but fewer people might actually land on our pages. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Uh-huh.
The article points out that different AI platforms, Google's AI Overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, they each have their own way of pulling data.
Right. Their own methods for ingestion,
Yeah.
how much they care about recent info, even how they cite sources.
It feels a bit like each one is playing by its own rules.
That's a very good way to put it.
Mhm.
Each platform has its own underlying mechanisms, its own algorithms for assessing what's relevant and trustworthy.
Which creates challenges, opportunities.
Both, really. It creates this multifaceted environment.
Mhm.
What works well on one platform might not hit the same way on another. So yeah, it's complex. You need to understand the differences, but that also means you can tailor your approach strategically.
Oh. So this fundamental change in finding information, it's naturally leading to some big shifts in how we behave as users. The article touches on a few key trends, like
Yeah.
this increasing tendency to just take what the AI gives you as gospel. I'll just ask ChatGPT, is becoming a thing.
Precisely. There's a growing inclination, maybe, to view AI responses as definitive. The trust is shifting sometimes from individual sites to the AI itself.
Which is convenient, but
Well, yeah, it offers convenience, but it can also lead to, let's say, less critical evaluation of the original sources sometimes.
and it's not just about one quick answer anymore. People are having these back and forth conversations with AI, refining queries, digging deeper.
Exactly. It's much more interactive,
Yeah.
conversational exploration. You start broad, then narrow down based on what the AI says next.
Mm.
It really changes that traditional user journey.
The article also highlights this reduced scrutiny of sources. If the AI gives you a nice summary and maybe lists some sources,
Yeah.
are people really clicking through, verifying? Sounds like maybe not so much.
That's a critical point. The ease of getting the info right there often outweighs the effort needed to check the original sources independently, which puts more responsibility on the AI systems to be accurate and on us as creators to make sure our info is solid, even if it's just being summarized.
Right. And finally, this growing preference for quick, condensed summaries. I mean, in an age of information overload, you can see why people like the AI doing the heavy lifting.
Totally understandable. While deep, long-form content still has its place for many general questions, users are increasingly happy with a concise, AI-generated summary.
So creators need to think about how their core info can be easily pulled out.
Exactly. Easily and accurately extracted and summarized by these systems.
Okay, so if AI is becoming this new gatekeeper, how do we make sure our content gets noticed? The article brings up the EET framework. We know EAT, but this adds an extra E for experience.
Right. EAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
So what is it exactly? Why is it suddenly so vital for AI discovery?
Think of it as a refined set of signals AI systems use to judge content quality and credibility. The addition of experience is a big deal. It highlights the importance of showing firsthand knowledge, practical application.
Like, have you actually done the thing you're talking about?
Exactly. Used the product,
Yeah.
visited the place, implemented a strategy. This real-world demonstrable experience is increasingly valued by AI.
Okay, so expertise is your qualifications, authoritativeness is your broader reputation online, trustworthiness is accuracy, transparency. But this experience piece, how do you actually show that to an AI? You can't exactly email it your CV.
That's the key challenge and a really good question. It often involves showcasing that practical application through things like detailed case studies, genuine testimonials, maybe in-depth walkthroughs, showing the process.
So content that illustrates the hands-on involvement.
Right. It's less about just saying you have experience and more about providing compelling evidence within the content itself.
And the article makes this crucial point. AI isn't just looking at one page, it's evaluating EEAT across your entire digital footprint.
Absolutely. Your whole website, your social media, mentions on other reputable sites, the quality of your backlinks, it all feeds into the AI's understanding of your EEAT profile.
So a much more holistic assessment then.
Definitely. It's about building a consistent, credible presence across the whole web ecosystem.
Okay, so with that understanding of how AI evaluates content, what are some concrete, actionable strategies for actually crafting content that AI is more likely to discover and use?
Right, the practical stuff.
The article gives several pointers. First, think extraction first. What does that look like in practice?
It means structuring your content specifically so AI can easily grab key pieces of information accurately, even when that info is pulled out of the context of the full article.
How?
Using clear headings, subheadings, bullet points for key takeaways, providing explicit definitions for important terms, making sure it's logically organized.
Yeah.
Basically, make your content modular and machine readable.
Makes sense. Then it says answer questions directly. Sounds almost too simple, but are we often too indirect?
We can be, yeah. As creators, we sometimes build up to an answer, give lots of background first, maybe take a more narrative approach.
Right.
But for AI discovery, it's often better to give the explicit answer early on, like first paragraph or two. If the query is a specific question, give a clear, direct answer up front.
Okay. Another crucial one. Bring unique value. Original research, exclusive surveys, proprietary data. Why is that so important now with AI?
Well, AI systems work by aggregating info from many sources. If your content has something unique original research, your own survey data, proprietary insights that isn't available everywhere else.
Ah, it stands out.
Exactly. It significantly boosts the chance of your content being recognized, and maybe even cited, as a primary or valuable source by the AI.
Visual information matters. Charts, diagrams, infographics. I wouldn't have immediately thought AI cared much about visuals.
Well, AI's ability to really understand complex visuals is still evolving, but it's getting better fast. Good visuals can summarize complex info concisely for humans and increasingly for AI, too.
And they might get pulled into the overview itself.
Potentially, yeah, adding another way your content gets discovered.
And finally, schema is your friend. We've talked about structured data before, but why is it so absolutely essential here?
Because structured data, schema markup, is how you explicitly tell search engines and AI what the different parts of your content are. It adds crucial context.
Like labels for the AI.
Exactly. Detailed machine-readable labels for everything. It makes it way easier for AI to understand, categorize, and ultimately use your content in its responses.
Okay, so beyond structuring the content itself, there's a technical side. The article gets into technical implementation, really stressing structured data and specific schema types. Let's break down a few. First, FAQ schema. Why is that one so important?
FAQ schema is incredibly valuable for AI overviews because these AI tools are basically designed to find and use well-structured question and answer pairs.
Makes sense.
So by using this schema, you're essentially highlighting the most answer-focused parts of your content, making it much easier for AI to grab your info when answering relevant questions. It's like speaking the AI's Q&A language.
Then there's how-to schema for step-by-step guides. Seems pretty obvious how that helps AI.
Exactly. If your content is a guide, instructions on how to do something, how-to schema explicitly signals that format and intent, makes your content super relevant for those how-to searches. AI is getting good at answering.
Entity markup identifying people, organizations, products, locations in your content. How does defining these help AI discovery?
Entity markup helps AI build a much richer, more nuanced understanding of the key subjects in your content and, importantly, the relationships between them.
Ah, connections.
Right. By clearly identifying people, orgs, products, locations, you let AI build a better knowledge graph around your content, connecting it to relevant entities, improving its overall understanding and context.
Table schema making data in tables machine readable. Seems fundamental if you have data tables.
Absolutely. Without markup, tables are just visual layouts to an AI. Table schema gives the semantic info needed to make that data machine readable, easily extractable. Ensures the valuable info in your tables gets understood and used.
And finally, content hierarchy, proper use of H1 to H6 headings. We know it's good for traditional SEO, but how crucial is it for AI?
Just as crucial, maybe even more so. Your heading structure is like a roadmap for the content's organization and flow.
Signals the relationships between topics.
Exactly. Main themes, supporting info. A clear hierarchy significantly improves the AI's ability to understand and pull out the relevant pieces.
Now, the article shifts gears a bit to building brand authority for AI discovery. It stresses it's not just optimizing individual pages, but how AI sees your brand as a whole entity. How does AI even form an understanding of a brand?
It builds a holistic picture by analyzing your whole digital footprint, your website, the social media, yes, but also, crucially, how other reputable sources talk about you online.
External signals.
Right. Mentions in authoritative publications, citations of your research, high-quality backlinks from credible sites, they all contribute to the AI's assessment of your brand's authority, expertise, and trustworthiness in specific areas.
So strategic PR and getting mentioned in respected industry publications, that becomes even more critical now.
Absolutely. Those external mentions are strong validation signals for AI. Third-party confirmation of your brand's credibility and relevance. They reinforce your position as a trustworthy source in the AI's eyes.
And thought leadership. Having your experts contribute insights to industry publications, joining relevant discussions, that gets a boost too.
Yes, it does. When your subject matter experts share their knowledge externally on reputable platforms, you're not just building human trust.
You're sending signals to the AI.
Exactly. Signals about your brand's deep expertise in those specific domains. It helps solidify that association between your brand and key topics.
Creating reference-worthy resources like in-depth guides, original research that others naturally cite. Sounds powerful, but maybe a long game.
It is a long-term strategy, definitely, but incredibly powerful. When other credible sources voluntarily link to your content as a reference,
That's a huge signal.
it's a very strong signal to AI algorithms that you are a valuable, authoritative resource worth paying attention to and potentially citing in their own responses.
Even actively participating in relevant industry forums and online communities can help build this authority for AI.
Definitely. Consistent, meaningful engagement in relevant online communities strengthens your brand's association with topics, demonstrates expertise to humans and AI, and can lead to those valuable mentions and backlinks that boost authority.
The article also mentions reinforcing entity connections, consistently associating your brand with specific topics, keywords, the solutions you offer.
That consistency is absolutely key. Linking your brand name and website with particular topics and solutions across all your online communication.
It helps AI build a clear picture.
A clear, unambiguous understanding of your brand's identity, your core focus, your expertise.
What about brands with multiple locations, or those in really niche areas? How do they build authority for AI?
Good question. For multi-location brands, developing specific localized authority signals is crucial. Content relevant to each location, local endorsements, local online community engagement.
And niche brands.
They should double down on showcasing their deep, specialized expertise. Actively seek validation and mentions from other authorities within that specific niche.
And this idea of overall consistency, messaging, branding, terminology, the article suggests that has a big multiplier effect on how AI sees your brand.
It absolutely does. When AI systems see consistent signals across all your touchpoints, websites, social, marketing, customer comms, it significantly strengthens their understanding of your brand as coherent, authoritative, and trustworthy in your space.
Okay, so we've covered understanding the AI landscape, creating AI-friendly content, building brand authority. Now, the article outlines some concrete action steps for positioning your brand. First step, audit your current AI discovery presence. How do you even start that?
A great starting point is, well, just use the AI tools like your customers would. Run your core business queries, the key questions your audience asks, through Google AI overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot.
And see what happens.
Yeah. Does your brand show up? How is your content presented or cited? Which pieces are being found? And, just as important, who are your competitors showing up in those results?
Then step 2, spot the gaps and seize opportunities. Comparing traditional search rankings with this new AI visibility.
Exactly. Look for pages that rank well traditionally but aren't in AI overviews. Find the questions in your industry that are triggering AI responses. Notice where competitors get mentioned by AI, but you don't.
Those are your opportunities.
Right. Those gaps are where you can focus optimization efforts.
Which leads to the next step. Optimize high-priority pages, taking those key pages and restructuring them, adding FAQs, implementing schema, strengthening EEAT.
Basically applying everything we've discussed. Prioritize your most important, highest traffic content first. Make those key pages as AI-friendly as possible.
Then comes create discovery-first content. Thinking about AI right from the start when making new stuff.
It's a proactive approach. Research the questions likely to generate AI responses in your niche. Then structure your new content to answer those questions directly, comprehensively, right up front. Include original data, clear definitions, formatted for easy attribution.
Strengthen external discovery signals. This is back to PR, partnerships, earning those high-quality backlinks.
Yep. Your off-site presence and reputation are more critical than ever. Invest in PR for mentions, collaborate with experts, create truly citable research, actively work on getting targeted, high-quality backlinks from authoritative sites in your field.
The article mentions measuring success, acknowledging the metrics are still evolving, but the principle of tracking performance is still key.
Absolutely. Even if the specific KPIs for AI discovery are still emerging, you have to measure. Monitor your brand's presence and performance across different AI platforms. See what's working, where you need to improve.
And finally, diversify discovery channels. Good reminder not to put all your eggs in, say, the Google AI overview basket.
Exactly. The AI landscape is changing constantly. It's smart to maintain visibility across multiple platforms. Avoid over-optimizing for just one system. Diversification makes you more resilient to future shifts.
The article wraps up reflecting on the blurring lines between search and AI and the lasting importance of human-centered content. It's a good reality check, isn't it?
It is. Traditional search isn't vanishing. It's evolving, integrating AI. The line between organic results and AI answers will likely keep blurring.
But ultimately,
Content that's genuinely valuable, engaging, and resonates with human readers will still win, regardless of how it's discovered. That doesn't change.
so bringing it all together, this deep dive really highlights a huge shift in how information is found and consumed online. It's definitely not just about chasing that top spot on a list of blue links anymore.
Right. The core takeaway, I think, is that success now needs a dual focus. You need content that's easily understood and valuable to AI systems for extraction, but also, maybe more importantly, content that continues to be engaging, insightful, and genuinely useful for the human beings on the other side.
And on that note, here's a final thought for you to mull over. Instead of seeing AI overviews as maybe a threat to how things used to work, what if we reframed it? Saw it as a brand new opportunity, a chance to connect more directly with your audience by being truly helpful, offering unique insights, and making sure your information is structured accessibly for this new era of discovery.